Welcome back to the channel. My name is J5 with 5 5s, and we're on day 96, blueprints. And I don't know which one I want to pick here. We haven't done Schoolhouse in a while. Let's try that. But hope you guys are having a fantastic morning, day, evening. My schedule is getting hard to keep up working overnight, so it's hard to find time for these, but I keep thinking about them. I feel like I see these every day. But I'll be on evening shifts. Like, I forgot the word. So, should be able to find time for that. Maybe I'll have to do like night recordings or something. So right now I'm doing my recording way later than I usually do. It's not too bad, but let's get started. Oh, okay. Okay, so the chip just comes back every time. Cool. Now we know. We've broken our vases. I don't know if there's any more vases, but we'll see. We do have to go with the library. This is our last book we got, I think. Curse of Blackbridge. And I don't have a magnifying glass for this either. By Redford Dewing. Hold on. No, Kirk Darwin is the anagram. I'm still looking for that. Let's go. The foreword. The legend of Blackbridge is one that's well known to the people of the Grand Realm, for versions of this tale have been passed down from generation to generation. With each new telling, the story has changed, becoming over the years more colorful, more verbose, and as one might expect, increasingly horrifying. However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of confining and binding this tale, the text seems so ambitious and an impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I have heard dozens of variations of the legend, and while the details would often change, I was surprised how much of the story's heart remained the same. Yet the more I listened, the clearer it became there could never be a definitive version of this tale capable of capturing all the wonder and myth of Blackbridge. In the end, I chose to write down what felt most authentic, the story my grandmother told me as a boy, long ago. Oh wow, oh my goodness, this is a full-on, holy crap. Oh, you guys are in for a treat. Listening to my voice. Maybe I'm trying to get comfortable here. Maybe I can do book readings on my channel or something if you could enjoy this. So part 1, The Berry Picker from Oris. Many years ago, for peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues so wayward that the locals deemed it appropriate to call their number the Unholy Hounds. They were feral outlaws composed of society's worst in a time when society was at its worst. And for each crime that fearful travelers credited to the group, a dozen morally unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise, high road robbery. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in life, having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyway to sustain his pitiful existence. It is not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take any easy road out. An easy and well-traveled road paved with temptations, leading out of the city and into the gentry lands, where loose purse strings entwined with the strands of salvation and glistened equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jesper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Black Bridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviors, that notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. Despite the hardened circumstance that had led him to this vocation of banditry, Jesper was surprisingly tender-hearted and was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. For this reason, Jesper was assigned the innocent role of berry picker. It was not just the innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. Jesper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he worked alone while the others slept soundly, tucked away in the cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. On one such occasion, Jesper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set out to the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest tree trunks. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jesper could reach the furthermost berry patches without worry of being chastised for tarrying upon his return. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way Jesper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several moments in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jesper was patient, but even his patience has its limits. He was confident that even accounting for the time lost to his long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pains. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jesper. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed so numerous as stars in the skies. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he regained his senses, Jesper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of this newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute the success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jesper set off to fill his basket and was making steady strides in this task when the sound of thundering hooves interrupted him. A carriage! A carriage is approaching! The thought of it made Jesper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by the discovery that he had neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept toward the impending sound, hiding behind one of the large bushes nearby. It was only a moment before the sound's source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jesper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around a corner of trees, led by 2 beautiful white horses, conveyed by a stern-looking driver, seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jesper had ever seen. It was not just any carriage. It was a royal carriage. Even without ever having witnessed such a sight before, Jesper was certain. The sight had so transfixed Jesper that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch. Upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such effect that the noble steed slid to a sudden halt with precise control. "You, boy, get out from behind that bush," he shouted with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. "You startled me half to death coming around the bend to my own drive, and me seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought not to be any face." Jesper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behavior, not dashing through the brambling and mud. I was picking berries." Jesper raised the half-filled basket up to allow the driver to see the proof of his words. The demeanor of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jesper was familiar with. He had many times seen the same stern expression of the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with a berry basket. Any suspicion that the driver might have had instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the unholy hounds picking berries seemed farcical. The softened expression even made allowances for a smile. "Berries, eh? Say, you couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? I used to pick berries here as a boy." Jesper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. "I know, and what luck I have found them. I have only just begun picking, and look how many I have. It would take me fourfold the time back home to procure this number. The driver bent down for a closer look. And where is your home, boy? It must be quite far. Jesper replied with a scripted response. A little south of Tanner Fork, just past the burnt woods. My God, that is far. You couldn't have come all this way only this morning. It was true. Tanner Fork was in the exact opposite direction that Jesper had traveled, and while a response would seem perfectly reasonable in a location closer to Blackbridge Canyon, you could see why it might seem less believable here. Sir, I have traveled much farther for much less profit. I dare say there is no distance yet made by man that would not be worth undertaking for such a prize such as these. Surely you have tasted them yourself. Jesper felt happier with his responses, seemed to amplify the man's smile. In my youth often, but perhaps I took it for granted because I never had to travel very far. Even then my father would always drive us here in our carriage, so I'm ashamed I never had to walk such a stretch to earn an equal reward. It was Jesper's time to smile. Then let me effort rewards us both today. He raised the basket even higher. A taste and memory of your youth, sir. The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket. And at the moment his fingers touched his first berry, the dagger in turn met his throat, cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jesper caught the man's startled eyes. And for that taste I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth. The driver's arm had gone stiff. His chin had raised and trembling, more frightened than he had ever been before. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged at this particular time. Jesper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. Do not mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me no cause. I'll admit the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you the indignity of walking appeals to me. Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jesper pivoted to search the seat under him. Why have you no purse upon your person? The driver slowly raised his hand, cautiously pointing toward the carriage door behind him. Jesper lowered the knife's edge a small degree to allow a man to speak, which he indeed turned softly. There's a lockbox in the carriage. Well, come down and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands. A concession, I assure you, to my tender heart, for it would be much easier to slit your throat. The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of the carriage. Once down, Jesper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree, where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jesper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smile and kindness Jesper had seen on the man's face now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold dark eyes displaying no emotion. I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me? Jesper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it, secured the final bindings, and then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. If there is no lockbox, there will be no clemency. Inside, the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished golden facade of the exterior. It had been apparently many years since a passenger had enjoyed passage in the vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jesper had suspected. The driver of this carriage was not a revered servant in the employ of some greater master. Any curiosity that this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage's back seat, a large wooden lockbox. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few minutes, Jesper had dislodged it from its hold and carried it out into the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, two observations were made. Totemic symbols, found carved on all four sides of the box, hinted that the box was very old and likely not created by Ordinian hands. It reminded him of artifacts of the old world that was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock. It would not open easily without a key. Jesper looked over to see the driver quietly observing from his indented position. Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box? Without emotion, the driver replied, There is no key to open that box. Jesper stood up. Easy enough, then. He handed over to a nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up, carrying it back to the box. There was ever a time when the lock had been resistant to brute force. It wasn't recent. One hit, the stone had been completely shattered. The rusted lock. He bent back down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jesper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised at how heavy it seemed given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly to the man, hoping to find an explanation. The driver's smile once again returned. You are cursed, boy, for deadly is the stone you have opened for which should never have been opened, and you are cursed. Jesper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it to the front of his face. What is it? That's one. Feeling his disappointment rise in anger now, Jesper tightened his grip on the effigy. One what, you mumbling Gentor? And in God's name, why have you no purse upon your person? The man did not seem intimidated. One pace. Paused for effect. 12 more, and you will be dead. He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. There was ever a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force. It wasn't recent. Jesper looked down at the sculpted stone figure, now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had, of course, heard stories of curses and had never doubted their validity in the past, but now he has a standing face to face the possibility of being cursed. His mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. And if he was cursed, what difference would that knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to make another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he could live maybe another 3 or 4 days, maybe more given the abundance of nearby berries. Plain that if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do? To be discovered here, beside a body, stolen goods in hands, bloated from berries, and raving about a curse that could not very well not be real? Well, no, it would not. It would most certainly be better to face one's fate now. Take a dozen paces and see if life goes on. But Jesper found his legs unable to make that first step. His mind was unable to convince his limb to waste another 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling that desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked about him for a solution. If by some stroke of luck the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him, as if he found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of golden trim were beside him, the answer to his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces back to the road. 4, perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made a quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be of some value. But the additional risk of undertaking such a task too great to chance, and so after a profound breath he took his second, third, and fourth steps, though they were quite large. Seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins and suddenly realized he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If, on the other hand, so as fictionist, then there might be some appeasement that could be made of that figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox. It was typical function of secure objects of value, having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution. Jesper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand to let go. If it is cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow. And if I die, what care have I? That statement said aloud to the horses seemingly, Jesper took up the reins with confidence. Part 2. Below the Black Bridge. Oop. Miller woke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have had the cheek to awaken her in such ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again, teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered. She was on the 3rd watch today, quietly collecting her things and wits. Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend, who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful to not wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked toward the sun-drenched mouth of the cavern, ready to start her shift. Above her, in one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. She waved, and Ravia waved back, calling to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered a braided rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following the finger, and saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn, Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There's not much room for maneuvering in this tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she had been. Miller laughed silently as water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and nosy of a joke, and had others been around, they would certainly have been scolded for the unwarranted sound. But Miller appreciated the efforts Ravia took to verbalize the silence of the morning. They had been on third watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time, their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds. She had felt camaraderie before, of course, but intimacy, never. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern as well as a clear view of the bridge that spanned across the canyon. Black Bridge was the link between Gentrylands and the northern mountains, the overpass that connected Oris and Reddington to the city, ferrying travelers to the realm. The bridge was unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travelers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farmhands and bricklayers, but a cavern-housed bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expression, nor to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, slowly shook her head in surprise. There were many signs that the unholy hounds used in lieu of words, but the two of them had developed an extended vocabulary, gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their mouth among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon, squinting through the leaves. The two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long until Miller, too, heard the sounds of approach. Ravia held up two bent fingers, and a few moments later, two men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in a familiar uniform, long gray coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. They belonged to the local patrol, the Blackguard. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Blackbridge was an unusual sight. It typically indicated important travelers' impending passage across the bridge, information that the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the Unholy Hounds, she had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguard was nearby. The men had nearly reached the bridge's north end when Miller heard the horses, faintly at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, the same concern mirrored in each other's expression. This did not sound like the typical carriage cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead of the familiar crunch of the highway's gravel, they heard the harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downward, looking through the foliage. Sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had knocked an arrow and drawn her bow. Go! Ravia was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, racing toward the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and both girls had reached it instantly. The base has been compromised. This was the Blackguard attack. The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She had expected cavalry. Before she even finished processing the thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse through such rough terrain. Yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. The third arrow was now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch, slamming into the embankment. The force of this sudden halt immediately shattered the front two wheels and catapulted the driver from his seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced. over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of unholy hounds came spilling forth from the earth as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Ravi among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for a silent gesture to convey what they both realized. They had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, Jeffrey Heartslasher, led the others, cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspicious fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. Miller was inconsolable. Jesper had always been her favorite. He had always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child tails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted, she had always called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the needles of this cave, but he had still had thorns honed by a grim past and walking in 100 hands of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness in the back of one of the larger cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he had treasured. The mysterious effigy they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighboring plots. No one spoke, not even a whisper. There was nothing to say. Miller awoke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of the earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking string of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. Sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her. But even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder. Intense voices could be heard ahead, louder speech than she had ever heard spoken in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now open, wide despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed two bent fingers against Miller's cheeks, and with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. Two bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began, blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Fodrick Lee of the Blackguard looked down from the ridge of the canyon to the collapsed entrance of the cage. Ah, he grinned. Now they speak. Wow. That was a very interesting story. I liked it. I think this is the same curse box from the tomb that we can't open. I need to reread this last part because, like, what I was just reading to read. I didn't quite understand what information they missed. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's kind of what confused me. The information kind of blended together that the two girls saw two different carriages. Okay, the patrol. Oh, okay, no. They just saw the two guards, and then the carriage was underneath the bridge. And then just forgot to relay the guards saw everything. Okay. Wow. I guess you can say we read a book together. This is I guess, the first book we've read, or I've read, in like 4 months, 5 months. The last book being the one called The Midnight Library. There actually is a piece of information I need. It was in... It was in the beginning. Where was it? It was talking about how the bridge connected two different lands. Oh, here it is. Oris and Reddington. That's the information we need. So Oris and Reddington are next to each other. Oris and Reddington. I was not expecting to go into like this reading thing. That took me like 25 minutes to read. No, I think it was just about 30. Holy crap. That was a long book. I mean, not really. But like, long compared to books in the game. That's so interesting. And also, I need to look at the pacings again when he was cursed. Because we don't really have a rock to open up the little lockbox in the tomb or anything. We had a sledgehammer one time and that didn't work. There wasn't an option. "13 paces in, 12 and 1. That's interesting. What's cool now is we don't need the bookstore anymore. Unless there's like a puzzle I'm missing in there. Got all the books. This is very bad. Well, let's go into the corner. Kind of curious. Also, I need to get into the zone. That reading kind of took me out a little bit. I want to talk about stuff. There we go. Dormitory. Each time you entered dormitory after drafting a room gained. There's a chessboard there. These all kind of suck, but I want to take a closer look at dormitory. Because we don't get it that often. I wonder if the globe spinning means anything. I mean, it has to, right? Dice, okay. There's a chessboard here. There's one thing. I was looking at some blueprince shorts, just people talking about the game. Because, like, I feel like I'm far enough to where, what do you call it? I can look at stuff without getting spoiled because I'm pretty far in, I think. And I was just looking at like early game stuff, but like I saw people take notes and looking at their notebook, and it made me feel so bad because my notes are terrible compared to this other person I saw. They were so organized. It just made me feel bad. Like this, for example. You know how we write down for each chess piece we find for the rooms. They were organizing it by black and white pieces. I didn't do that. I never really thought about that. I just thought of it as like the one thing to do. But yeah. We'll see. And I have to redo my notes because I just feel so bad. I have to like look at Discord because Discord was blowing up for some reason. But our D&D session got rescheduled. That's why. That's why it's so hard to like get these videos done. Cause like I got so much going on. Gotta get my workout done. Gotta get this done. Gotta do some D&D. And we just started too. And what's funny is our first session, we had someone die in their first session, and it was so funny. Like, there's no way you're gonna roll a 1 on your death roll, and they did. Oh, it was so funny. I don't get this one a lot. Let's go into here. But yeah. Oh yeah, that's nice. No real secrets, puzzles in there. Unless, wait a minute. There's a puzzle already right here. There's a T. These squares are darker than everything else. Unless there's like an unspoken prompt, like the, what do you call it, the cloister? Was that what it's called? I don't even know. Cloister grounds. Why is there a T there? Very curious. This is not going to be a good run because we got dead ends early on. Oh yeah, I can't get that. Oh man, oh no, oh no. I could do a study and maybe get some lucky here. I don't really want to look at the study right now. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wait, this might work. If I can get the furnace. I want the furnace. No, give me the furnace. Yes. Let's see how this works. It's right next to it, like it's gotta do something. It's getting hotter, yeah. Oh. Oh yeah, look at that. So we got a dead end run here, but we did something crazy cool. Does that add to our... What's in here? Dominoes? No, I don't have anything. No, I don't have a terminal. This is the second time this has happened. The network servers are finally out of cold storage, or at least as many as we could fit into the surrounding walls of the grotto of the East Drive. Last few days have been very busy, but I'm glad I was able to take a short break from gardening to help Rudolph install the network. It was, after all, the least he could do, since it was I who suggested the final location. We decided we were going to store 2 unused servers here in the Mount Holly's freezer. They should serve as readily accessible replacements should any of the primary consoles. An admin key Revold? Revold. I'm gonna write that down. That. The second time that's happened, man. Upgrade disk. Fail. It's either reveal. Well, it has to be a D. That wouldn't. What kind of letter would that be? If the first part was an I or an L. Revealed. Why is the capital D? So these are servers. They look like dominoes to me. Well, that makes sense. Servers get really hot. Why aren't these melting? Melt, please. Should I have opened this before, like, doing something? I can tell you right now. It feels really bad losing an upgrade disk because they're not going to show up again. It feels really bad. Still don't know what this 4th permanent is. Maybe it has something to do with this over here. And I don't have a code check either. I think if I get all 3 of them, shelter, security, all that, can do something. And then now with the servers up, do I need the freezer too? I don't know. Feels bad. Permanently upgrade and you miss it. There's no way to, there's no terminal either. We don't have a key card to really get to that either. I'm just being really observant. Like maybe there's a detail in the fountain. Call it a day. Just have to answer the D&D session. Okay. Feels really bad. Great disc gone. I think we're getting closer to this microchip. Because whatever it is, it probably has something to do with the servers and the thing. I think there was something we tried to do last time, but it wasn't working. I think it had something to do with the office. But if we get a shelter, we're going for it. We didn't get a shelter, so. Let's take a look here. Just give me a, good old sledge level. Oh, so we don't know what these. I mean, the foyer has the people in it. We don't know what they mean yet. I don't know why. I thought I saw something. My cursor changed for a second. So why don't we try and do that? Let's try and get. I don't want this one. Let's try and get. Don't tell me there's a puzzle with these wine boxes or wine bottles. Be crazy. Some of these are opened. A lot of red here and green. Oh my goodness, I had to sneeze. This is gonna be a little bit of a cursed recording. Interruptions and whatnot. Wait a minute. If we hit 62, it's gonna be dead end. I can just not click the thing though, right? If I don't want it, I don't have to make this hard. Oh my goodness. Please give me this. Wait. I swear I saw the cursor change. I don't know. Crazy. Banana. Let's get a. Wait, 1 key for 10? Yeah, right. You don't need that. Oh my gosh. It has been such a long time at the greenhouse. We need to break down this wall. We need to get the workshop. I just need a battery. Battery. Right. And we did this. We did that puzzle. There's nothing else in here, is there? This room is just so dense with stuff, like, I feel like there might be something else I'm missing. This is definitely a wall to break. We gotta break that. There's a clock underneath that? Has that always been there? Oh, what? I don't know, man. I feel very unobservant, apparently. But this is a very cursed run, I think. I didn't even pick up this. What is going on with me? Wait, how did I get enough coins for... Oh no, that was from the tool shed. Dude, I'm like second guessing myself. Everything. Observatory. And oh yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna redo my notes with the black and white chess pieces later. I'm gonna redo all of my notes. I just wanna like lock in, you know. Oh wait. Unusual, standard. I feel like there's nothing really changed from these. I like these as they are. There's no like secret bookshelves. Also, one thing I noticed watching other people play is for some reason their game looks so much better than mine. And it's like there's no graphics setting. So it's like, why does theirs look so more vibrant and like detailed? I don't understand, man. It might be my monitor, I think. But it's the same monitor. I used to watch their videos, so it doesn't make sense. It's weird, man. I do need a new monitor. But it is October, end of October right now, so what do you call it? Cyber Monday's coming. It's a good time to get some stuff. Okay, so this I can just not click the thing, right? Yeah, I don't have to click anything. Okay. Oh, hello. Nice. We see security room. Oh, okay. These are all really good. This gives us more likely to get green rooms. This saves us green rooms. This gives us more gems and maybe an item, and it keeps going to the. These are all good choices. Oh man, green rooms are the best. I can get keys to the garage. I just keep going, or I could just try and go. I think we need to keep our paths open. There's only one path right now. Has there ever been a lockbox here? Never seen one here. Sometimes there's a dirt pile, and I guess there's not. We keep going. Do we keep going? We keep going. I think around. I think we can still get garage, like over here, maybe? We'll see. Metal detector. Nice. Now we just need the workshop. Let's go back. Save us some rooms and see if we can get a workshop early. Does this open? Never really thought about it, but like that seems like something that would be a secret. You know? Hmm. But that was a yellow pawn. Does a yellow pawn count as a white pawn? Goodness. I'm just gonna go for the courtyard. 5 dig spots. Do it. Key to the secret garden. Sweet. Oh, you know what? I wonder if there's like special days that gives you more likely to get other items. Or not item, but rooms. Like maybe we're on like, you know, it says day 97, but what if we're on like a Tuesday or something and Tuesday just gives us more green rooms? I never thought about that either. Knowing this game, it probably is. Well, here we go. It's a black room too. Black print. Armory. Knock locks off. Tomorrow game. Morning star. Self-igniting. Can light candles at uses. That's for the dynamite, isn't it? Okay. Once per day while drafting, you can equip Night Shield to ignore negative effect. Stone chamber fitted with ancient weapons and armor from the second era. This room predates almost every other room in the house, directed may in fact be an authentic floor plan from one of the lost strongholds of Medina areas. Is it just those 3? These are all really. I can get all of these anytime I draft the armory. I can get all of these. I'm gonna buy it, yeah. I'll get a star too. I mean, that's kind of pointless, but we don't have the trading shop. Gotta go left. The aquarium is one too, isn't it? Because it's every color. Oh, here he is. Broken lever. But we don't want to put the broken lever. We want to combine it with the workshop. Hmm. I get 5 free. I get 3 redraws. I need a turn, dude. I need a turn. Here we go. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Spare bedroom. Here we go. Yeah. Now my luck is cloister. Oh wait, there's the workshop. Let's do it. We need the battery pack though. I mean, we have a ton of stuff. Let's see what we can do with it. Oh, you can't even combine. what can you combine? Coin purse. Lucky purse. Let's do that. I got a trophy. Trophy of invention for creating all 8 contraptions in the workshop. Let's go. I didn't even mean to do that. Doubles all the gold you find. Does that take away do we just need the battery pack for that? Because I feel like we can just make this. Yeah. Greater chance of finding. Okay. So maybe if I can get a store too. Guess we're going back. Getting all these cool things, but I don't know if it's really applicable here. Now I wish we got a code check. I think there is a bonus though if we sleep in the bedroom. So we'll do that too. I need to pay attention to vases too. Like, can break the ones in the entrance. Break anything else. Secret garden key that gives us 3 spots. Or 2 paths. And I know, like, I can look to see if the soil's good, but at this point, like, it doesn't matter. We're just going for what we need. I need paths. Might as well look the mess. I don't think we'll even get to that. Oh, you know what? The Morning Star might be able to break that cursed one. Can try it. If we can ever get it. Chapel seems pretty good. Now we just need a store. We need stores. Candle seems good. So we got the shovel and stuff. Dog. A freezer would be also be good. Dog. Good boy. I don't know if this is just there for to be there, but I don't know what that really means. CAT. I mean, obviously cat, but like, is there like a puzzle or something within this? Is there blocks or something I can play with? The children's room, maybe? Just make cat? I don't see the point. Here we go. I do have keys, so if I go back to the dead end. I can go back to the basement. Open up more of the reservoir chests. So we need to finish getting rid of those. Yeah, that's good. Dude, we're just really good. We are so good. Yeah, give me a gem. Yeah. 6. I need to write that down too. I'll do that when I redo my notes. We'll have like pages dedicated to stuff. Wasn't there a fire here? Or does a fire not come on sometimes? I do have the torch. This is a good one. This is so good. This is so good. We need to go to the right side. Cloister is good. Cloister is so good. And here. Okay. I'm gonna go down. We need either a shop or... Oh my gosh. Indoor nursery? Maybe? Let's try that. I think we got most of the green rooms anyway. Can I play with the blocks? Can I make spell cat? Also kind of why I wanted to check in here. This has got to open, right? Why is there a street lamp in here? There's another one. I gotta pay attention to every single detail. Okay. I just don't know what details are relevant, man. We also need to find the master bedroom. We haven't found that in... Okay, there's a gymnasium. I don't want to walk into it. Getting big. You need to save every step. If I get this, I can get a shop, maybe? Let's think about it. What do I want? What do I need? I need something for items. Battery pack. I just need a battery pack, man. I don't think we can... I think... Let's take a look. We don't need bookshop. We don't need kitchen locksmith. A showroom might be nice. Gift shop. Don't need anything else. Casino. Special cost bypass. Can I... This door's open. I kind of want to look back into it. If I redraw it, will it give me casino again? Yes! That's what we need. Gamba. Let's go gambling. Broken handle. Do I only need it one time or every time? That's the thing. I don't know. It's permanent. Basement key. No. wonder if this is a second thing. You can literally go up or something. No. Can I play blackjack? We'll see if we can still get the, I think I do need a kitchen now. We're running through a lot of, spread further attacks. We need a conference room. We need a lot of things. I need this, I need that. Laboratory. Maybe I'll get a battery from here. If I just keep getting more items. We got this too. It doesn't really do much. I mean, it said it wasn't going to do much, but I mean, that's a lie, right? There's always something. There's always something with this game. Oh, my brain is so fried. Dining room is really good. We need more steps. We don't have a showroom yet. And the road just keeps going. I wonder if I can get a garage from here. No. There's a bishop there. I've actually been trying to learn chess, but it's so hard. It's so hard to see things. Just looking diagonally, like, is there a secret? Bishop moves diagonally, is there a secret? It's gotta be more than just the one Alazara. It's one thing I also need to go back and look at the cutscenes. We're gonna do this now. Get 3 more gems. This box is the black box. That's false. This box is the blue box. Also false. The box that claims to be black has the gems. So 2 false. And that's true. And that's true. Then it's in this one. Oh, 4. Where's the 4th one? 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah. Nice. Showroom, here we go. I really need a coat check. I can get everything I've ever wanted. Moon pendant. Okay. I didn't mean to buy it, I just wanted to like look at it. These kind of suck, really. We're good on that. We're good on that. There's like 3 other things that can rotate for us, so it's like, why spend it on that? It's not. It doesn't look like there would be a puzzle here. But now we got the showroom we can eat. That is so huge. Did I buy it? I wasn't even paying attention. I didn't think I'd buy it. I didn't mean to buy it, but hey, that's good. I can be a little bit more reckless now. So we didn't get a thing to turn it off. Well, actually, the gymnasium with the steps were fine. We need a master bedroom just to take a look at it again. It's been so long. I guess. I am not a fan of the tunnel. Thought it'd be cool, but it's to no point. Servants' quarters. What happens if we get a tunnel? We get a bunch of keys that we don't need. I'm curious. I just want to see. Do we get out of the house? Oh my gosh, there is something here. What the heck? Help me. Just do this. That's so. What the heck just happened, dude? That scared me. That scared me. Oh my god. Okay, the black rotates, okay. Does that mean we need green on each side? Oh gosh, okay. Or orange on each side. I see green. What the heck? Oh no, this is so complicated. I think this is it. No, it wasn't. Yeah, if I click to this one. Okay, it moves clockwise, so like click this one. Okay, the whole thing moves clockwise, okay. That means I can do this. There we go. Wait, I got it on accident. No, okay. Okay. Oh my god. What the hell was that? Clipped into the ground. That was so scary. I didn't want to fall into the void like other games do that. That would have. Cause I have so much stuff, man. Oh my gosh. Glad I thought of that tunnel thing. That's a good one. There's only 2 coins. So I was like, I can see why I never really wanted to do that earlier. There you go. Now we got 3 rooms, 3 keys. Can I break this? I got the sledgehammer. It's the same vase. Let me break it. Break it, break it. So what do we need? We need to get the battery pack. Security room is perfect. There's never an item in here, is there? Just reviewing every detail, man. Would a laboratory have a battery pack? Maybe. We gotta see. We got one room to test an experiment. Okay. Data transfers. I think that's what we're trying to do last time. Okay, anyway. Wait, what if I do put in the admin password? Guess not. Okay. So the last thing I can do is just get a shop room, I suppose. We gotta get that letter, man. We need to know what happens. There you go. And then there's power to this secret laundry thing. None of this matters anymore. That coin. Okay, so what we can do is just take a look at. I'm wasting steps. The final room. See what's going on there. And then it's almost a straight shot back. Oh, nice. Wait, moon pendant you can combine moon pendant. Okay, I'm so good on steps. Oh my god. I can be a little reckless. It's kind of cool having everything. Wish there was more to do. These bushes mean something, don't they? I don't know. Microchip. Where would a microchip go? So many more mysteries. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. My pressure condenser. Okay, we got 3 keys left too, so we can see what's up over here. Even though I think we already got all the prizes anyway. All the good stuff. He got it all really early too. It was kind of funny. So all that's left is the pink boxes, which say they don't have any prizes. So I guess we'll just passively work on that. And then we gotta figure out how to get to that. So many things to do. Why am I going here again? To unlock the last room, that's right. So how do I do that? And then I gotta go all the way back up. Oh. Okay, yeah, it has it. It has the stuff first. Vinny. I never really stopped to look at the pattern, but there we go. Man, I'm really bad at looking at details, huh? Open up. We've been through here. Is there something there? This view has a purpose. There's a purpose to this view. I'm supposed to see something, aren't I? Man, I'm getting really paranoid. Isn't that something? I can't really tell what that is. Unless it's just rocks. I don't know. So many things, man. Do not know what they mean. But the cool thing is we've learned a lot. Every run we learn a lot. I learned about the armory. Those items are kind of strong and cheap for what they are, so that's really good. Get the morning star, like holy crap. We gotta make our way back. I mean, we don't have a... We don't have a thing for it. I'm just checking, like, everything's got me paranoid now. Like, I'm missing so many stuff in rooms. But I think I was thorough the first time when we had the sledgehammer that could break things. Break the walls. Okay, so now we just gotta go. Back to the front, back to the back. See what we can get. And then it's almost a straight shot back. Okay. This feels too simple. Just have one of these I can turn to bet. Fake wall somewhere. Right? This game does a cool thing with dimensions where I've noticed some rooms are bigger than others. You'll get fake, like, interactions. Not interactions, but like, how would you describe it? Like, it's like a TARDIS almost. Like from Doctor Who. Where the box is bigger on the inside. There's a lot of tricks like that. Ooh, this is what we can try. Since we couldn't get that. Let's gamble. Slot up to 5 bonus spins? Okay, let me back out of here. Up to 3 bonus spins. I mean, would there be no point right now? You just said 5 though. Is it because I backed out? Okay, yeah. Now it says 5. What is going on? What if we get crowns? Or okay, well, I wonder if that's permanent. Anyways. Back of the mansion. I wonder if this is a secret room. You get all the things done in the basement. Still don't know. We got that one. King on his throne. Don't know that one. The station. The last door of 8. I don't think there's really much to see here. I think, okay, so once we get our that's probably how we find our mother, isn't it? So much to this room. Okay, we need to go to the bedroom and sleep, and I think we'll call it there. It's been a long recording. Gotta edit it. Pretty good run. Got a lot of items that I can't save. I do have the moon pendant, so we'll see what we get tomorrow. Be crazy if we can keep the crown of blueprints. That's really the only one I'd keep. And a detector shovel. Crafted items. This one I don't like, because like, does that mean I just lose my luck for finding other items? I'd rather have finding items than coins. But yeah. And there's no point in gambling now, there's no shops. But yeah, this was a pretty good run, I'd say. Gotta get to the bed. Because, if I look back in my notes, somewhere, this is why I have to reorganize them. I'm reading through my notes that's like, you sleep in this bedroom, you get this. If you sleep in that bedroom, you get that. Some of these are bad bedrooms. The regular bedroom doesn't say anything. So I don't think we'll get anything special from it. But we'll try. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for watching. My name is J5 with 55. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.